Democratic congressman from Maryland. Glenn Ivey, Congressman, great to have you. Your first reaction to these verdicts, and is this a big enough blow to white supremacists where they could actually think twice about plotting future attacks?
Well, one would hope so. I mean, this is certainly a milestone from the standpoint of the Department of Justice having successful prosecutions for rarely used statutes like seditious conspiracy. I think this is the third trial in which they've won convictions on these types of charges against some of these key players. So I think with respect to the prosecutions for January 6th involvement, I think it's a great sign for the Department of Justice. I think as far as, the battle against, sort of white nationalism and some of the violent acts that they've been committing across the country, I think it's a big step in the right direction, but we still got a lot of work ahead of us on that front.
Always is, but it's a step in the right direction. And now bringing forth and getting seditious conspiracy convictions, it's not only historic, but could it actually impact Donald Trump in any way and his actions on January 6th?
Well, I think Trump's behavior, as far as his campaign and his, current activities go, I think he's going to stay on the course that he's on because that's who he is. But I think from the standpoint of impacting people around him, they might start thinking twice about maybe it's a good time to start cooperating with the Department of Justice to the extent they've held back, because these kinds of convictions carry very heavy jail time. And I don't get a sense that the judge in this case is going to be super sympathetic to these guys, especially the ones that went to trial and essentially made false statements on the stand. So it might be a good harbinger for the department as far as building other cases, and as well for the special prosecutor in building the cases that he's investigating directly with respect to Mr. Trump.
Right. And so that in addition to possibly others that were involved in organizing January 6th, like Rudy Giuliani, could you see possibly cases going forward, going after some of Trump's closest advisors that were encouraging what happened on that day?
Yeah, I mean, usually the way these cases go is, they start at the bottom and work their way up to the top. So to get to Mr. Trump, you would think that they'd be going through some of these other players they had, Rudy Giuliani and, and the like. So I'm sure they're part of that. It's hard to know exactly for sure, but based on some of the grand jury testimony or people they've called to testify before the grand jury, it looks like he's moving in that direction too. But we won't know for sure until there's if and when there's an indictment that comes down.
So let me ask you, as a former federal prosecutor, is there anything else to be found here?
Well, you never know. I mean, I assume that the special prosecutor has an ongoing investigation, and sometimes you find important information and evidence down the road. I think that actually happened in this trial in particular, where they found evidence as things were developing. And sometimes, if you flip witnesses and they begin cooperating with you, they can provide additional evidence or, access to more documentary evidence or the like that the prosecutors didn't know was there. So I think they certainly have the opportunity to build even stronger cases against Mr. Trump. And I'm sure that they are heartened by what happened today.
Congressman Glenn Ivey, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.